Yep, right up at 141, just to the west there, and I think that's your house, and then it goes into the farm. Chopper on there somewhere.
We are live right now.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Call the City of Kewaunee Common Council meeting to order for February 12th. Let the record show all members are present. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance and the moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Seated. Okay, item 3. Approval of January 2nd, 2024 and January 8th, 2024 Common Council minutes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Nelson. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 4, public comment communications, 3-minute time limit per person. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak under public comment this evening? Is there anyone here that wishes to speak under public comment? If not, we will close public comment. Item 5, boards, commissions, committee and staff reports, finance committee, public works committee and staff reports.
One question,
Okay.
please. Under the Hamachek property RFQ, it says we have received a verbal inquiry from S.C. Swiderski, which indicated that the direction for the project was not consistent with what they would propose. Can we wrap a couple words around that?
Yeah, the last time you did one of these, for the property, they submitted a multifamily only. And what we asked for is a mixed use project. So they weren't interested in doing anything other than residential, so they declined to submit. Because we requested multifamily or mixed development type project. So,
I did was in communication with Joel Kitchens about that, asking him if there was that we hadn't received any inquiries on or proposals on that property, asking him if there would be any way that we could do something else on the, I have it in the text message here. Which goes back a week already, asking him if there was anything that we could do on that property. Other than what we had proposed. And he said that there were no contracts on the property, so we could basically do whatever we wanted. So I'm wondering if we should contact these people again.
The only thing that I would caution on that is while there wasn't a contract, it was pretty clearly understood with the finance committee and the folks in Madison that we were in need of economic development, the closure of the nuclear plant, all that sort of thing. I'd be very cautious about just going against what we more or less verbally promised Madison in regards to that grant.
Well, I think that what we need to do is contact.
But we don't want to have it empty for 10 years either.
No, then I think we need to contact someone,
It's already been, hasn't it?
who could help us decide if there was. Help us decide if there's something else we can do on that property. I'm just saying that if this person is seriously interested in this. Then I think we need to either pursue this person and or Madison to get some answers. Say, here we have an individual who's willing to do some type of and I don't even know what it is, I'm just reading it in here. But maybe he would be interested in doing something.
What, Heath,
If it's outside of what? Cause I mean, at some point in time, the statute of limitations has got to run out. This was what, 7 years ago?
it very well may be. I'm just only saying, I mean, you were a part of that at the time as well, and I mean, we know what was discussed, but it isn't a contractual thing, you're right.
Well, When did we tear down Hamachek actually?
What started in, yeah, I left office in 16, so I don't know if it was completely torn down in 16 or not.
I thought it was already over and done with at that time, so I thought it was before that.
Well, if it was 16, it would have had to have been later 16, but I don't know.
So, okay.
But I think it's something we should check on.
Well, we should probably try to touch back with him and see. If we can get some further comment on that. Versus not having anything happen,
Correct.
so. Anything else regarding the board's commission, committee and staff reports?
You guys been doing.
Yeah. So do we have a motion to approve them as submitted?
I so move. I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Item 6, mayor's report, 6A, approve posting for vacant council position in Aldermanic District 2 with deadline for applications set for March 7th, 2024. And interview consideration of candidates at March 11th, 2024 council meeting. Heath, did you want to put some words around that, please?
In the wake of our recent vacation over in District 2, which is now occupied by Jim's bag. Replacement is necessary. There are two options. You can either appoint a replacement or a special election is held. For reasons of expense, it would be cheaper to do the first option. That's been what's been done more recently in the last few seat vacations. Council posts for the position, much like a job opening. People have a deadline to submit basically their resume, and then you interview them in public, in an open session at the next council meeting, and then you decide which one you want to appoint to the chair. And then they just simply take an oath of office and that's it. And then they serve out the rest of the term. This term would run until April of 2025. And then they would also like anybody else could theoretically run for the seat if they want. So it's not incumbent upon you to pick somebody who would actually want to run for the seat. That's up to you too. It's sort of council's prerogative.
Anybody have any thoughts prior to a motion at all, or?
It needs to be filled, that's for sure.
So, I'll make a motion to approve posting for vacant council position in Aldermanic District 2. With the deadline for applications set for March 7th, 2024, and interview consideration candidates at the March 11th, 24 council meeting.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of posting the vacancy, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6B, appointment of interim replacements for council standing committees. Personnel Committee, Janita Zimmerman, expiring April 15th, 2024. Finance Committee, John Blaha, expiring April 15th, 2024. These vacancies again are due to the vacancy of that Aldermanic District 2. So I made these appointments and I'm looking for the council to ratify those appointments. Is there a motion to approve? Do we want to do them together?
Yeah, you can do them together.
Together, okay. Is there a motion to approve as submitted?
I'll do it.
So I have to abstain, right? Can I vote for myself? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
We're not paying you any extra.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6C, appointment of city administrator as city representative of the KCEDC, Kewaunee County Economic Development Corporation, Board of Directors. So once again, with the vacancy of that Aldermanic District 2, she was the city's representative on there. And I asked the administrator if he would be willing to serve, and he agreed. So if we're in support of that, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the city administrator as city representative to the KCEDC Board of Directors.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Nothing else to do, Heath, or?
Jim, I guess. Any further discussion?
2 hours once again.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6D, update from KCEDC, Ben Nelson, Executive Director. been here tonight?
I told him he was on the agenda.
Okay.
Since he asked.
So
So,
it's a brief update, so we'll move on.
yeah.
Did he share anything with you prior to the meeting, or it was just gonna kind of be a typical annual?
I'll reach out to him and see if he wants to come back next week.
That'd be great, thank you. Is there any unfinished business? There is none. Item 8, new business. 8A, authorize a $1 an hour increase in pay for the wastewater operator.
Yeah, Logan was hired in October under a stepwise proposed increase based on meeting licensing requirements of the WDNR for wastewater operator. As of right now, he is a wastewater operator training licensed through the DNR. He's already passed that far. So having achieved that level to eventually get up to a minimum $25 an hour position. He is currently being paid $22.66 as of now. With the completion of the initial licensure, the employment agreement specified a $1 an hour increase. So we're just simply requesting approval for that $1 an hour increase for Mr. Mankey.
I'll make the motion that we approve that increase for the wastewater operator of $1 an hour.
Second by Brewster. Any further discussion? Please call roll.
Nelson. Aye. Conley.
Aye.
Woznicki.
Aye.
Brown.
Yes.
Blaha.
Sure.
Brewster.
Aye.
Zimmerman.
Aye.
Motion carried. 8B, authorize a $1 an hour field training officer stipend for part-time patrol officers.
Yes, under the collective bargaining agreement with the KPPA, full-time patrol officer is given a $1 an hour increase if they are certified as a field training officer and perform training duties on any shift supporting a newly hired patrol officer. These FTO duties include more support than is typical for a standard shift, and therefore the additional pay reflects that. Since August, KPPA has not had a certified FTO in its ranks. Training at times is provided by part-time patrol officers, all of whom are sheriff's deputies, and all of whom are certified FTOs. The police chief believes that a similar type of increase is provided under the CBA to reflect the assistance is a fair standard to apply for also for the part-time patrol officers who are not otherwise covered under our CBA. So the request is simply to approve to allow them to get the same kind of treatment that a full-time patrol officer would get in the police department.
So do we have a motion to approve a stipend of $1 an hour for the field training officer duties provided by part-time patrol officers?
Second.
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Nelson.
Aye.
Conley.
Aye.
Woznicki.
Aye.
Brown. Yes. Blaha.
Yes.
Brewster.
Aye.
Zimmerman.
Aye.
Motion carried. 8C, authorize a 50-cent increase in compensation for crossing guards, 50 cents an hour increase for crossing guards
Actually, it's 50 cents per shift.
or per shift.
Yeah,
Okay.
technically. Crossing guards are a part-time school year position. They work half-hour shifts twice a day. We've been paying them and then we get reimbursed by Kewaunee Public Schools. For several years, position was paid at a rate of $19.50 per half hour. Police chief is simply asking for a 50-cent increase, so it's nothing else. It's just a round number. It's easier to calculate at $20 per shift. So that's just the request.
So do we have a motion to approve an increase of 50 cents per half hour shift for crossing guards?
I'll second.
Motion.
Sorry. Awesome. Please call the roll.
Nelson.
Aye.
Conley.
Aye.
Woznicki.
Aye.
Brown.
Yes.
Blaha.
Aye.
Brewster.
Aye.
Zimmerman.
Aye.
Motion carried. 8D, approved purchase and services for body camera and taser upgrades for the police department.
You want to tell them or do you want me to try and
No.
butcher this?
Let's have Keith.
Well, it has some changes, usually them best, so I'll let you explain the difference.
This ask was discussed last week at finance. They currently operate, police department operates with body cameras that were purchased piecemeal online without any technical support and whose recordings require complicated processes to transfer. And if there's anything that requires like redaction is required by state law, it gets even more complicated. And also that they tend to break easily, so then we have to go and get new ones all the time. So she's requesting approval for WatchGuard V300 body camera system with 3 cameras, 1 per squad, and technical support provided by the manufacturer Motorola. The cost number in my packet is a little different now. I'll let Robin give you the actual number. And it's also a 3-year support rather than a 5-year support because of technical problems going from what we're doing to where they are. We're going awfully far in technological advancement with this system as opposed to what we're currently using. What I can say is that this is the same system that's being used by the sheriff's office, Luxembourg and Algoma. And the type of system that we can convert to allows us to be able to provide better service for the district attorney when these recordings are required. As for the tasers, the city has older tasers that have some issues with displays and may not always function correctly. The concern would be what happens if they're in the field and they have to use one and it malfunctions or something because it's not, you can't tell if it's actually operating correctly. They're sort of necessary so that patrol officers can deal with issues without resorting to other types of force. The proposal would include 7 Taser 10 tasers, which are the most advanced one, I think. Support services, including 2-day instruction for all patrol officers and 5 years of support, which we would choose to pay all at once rather than once a year for 5 years. So we're talking about a 5-year support system for the body camera and 3 years, or 3 years for the body cameras, 5 years for the tasers. Outlay from our police department capital outlay line, $15,000, and the remainder would come out of the CIP fund, which would be done separately through a budget resolution next month. But we're just looking for that. And if you want to give them the updated numbers.
So just because I can see some people in finance and they might be a little confused on the numbers here. This changed a couple of times since the meeting. So we had been at, for the body cameras, $21,595. When that meeting got over with, I contacted the rep that I've been working with at Motorola to try and get that down some. And she's been very good about helping with that. And what she ended up being able to get the quote down to $20,495. So she made the adjustment and then realized that we have the old system, and she was thinking we were already upgraded to the M500 in-car system. We do not have that, and I think the confusion was on both of these projects. I worked with different reps all last year, all fall, and then right after the new year, both Motorola and Axon assigned new reps to each project, and I think she just thought we didn't have a system that was that old anymore. So then she had to redo the quote. So basically, that was why we went from a 5-year support to 3-year support, because they don't want to, for 5 years, guarantee that old equipment. They want to try and push you to get the new equipment. So I asked just to have her humor me. I knew I wasn't going to be coming back to finance or to this council this year for it, but to upgrade the 3 squad car cameras to what she thought we had was $22,574 additional dollars to upgrade the main systems. And that's just not necessary right now. She can make it work, but essentially we had to go down to the 3 years from the 5. So just if anyone had noticed previously that it was 5 and we're down to 3, now that's why. And then with doing that, the final package, we were going to take some things out. One thing she did take out was the video manager, which was the support fee for, that was at $595 a piece. And I want to keep that in there because let's upgrade for the next 3 years while we can, and then we can make it the next, maybe another 3, 4, 5 years without the support. But we may as well for that price, since they're upgrading our redaction software, also make sure that everything else is upgraded. So then that brought the price to $70 more than where we originally were when I spoke to finance. So the final number for the watch guard is $21,665.
What's the total package then, Robin, between the,
Between the two?
Yeah.
Well, so that, Heath and I really weren't sure about that after the last meeting, so Axon did a quote for me where they included year 1 and 2. So then we wouldn't be invoiced again until year 3. But then I went and talked to Joe about it, and we went back to the minutes, and from the meeting, it actually sounded like we were gonna pay the full 33 upfront. So they did another quote for me, just because I wasn't sure if that was the understanding of finance. Was it
That's what we thought.
That's what we thought.
all of it
So-
upfront? So we would
That's
just
the-
be paying for the 2.
we
Yeah.
thought it was gonna, you're talking about the years, right?
Right.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought we were gonna pay year 1 and 2 upfront.
Wasn't there at 5 years and 7 years? Or was it 5 years and
5 or
10 years?
5 and 10.
And we decided to go with the 5, I think, for
Right.
all up front.
Yep.
So now it's 3 years,
Well,
all
Axon
up
is,
front.
Axon would be, that's where this gets confusing. Axon would be 5 years.
Right.
But watch guard body cameras would be 3 because she doesn't wanna.
It's support
so
for
it's
20 of the extra money.
Not 5 across the board. Is that what you're saying? It's 3 years with the,
3 years with the
With the
cameras,
Motorola.
5 years with the tasers,
okay,
but they're both being paid for upfront.
correct.
Okay, that was,
So what's the total dollar amount then between the cameras and the tasers that we're looking for?
it is. $55,330.60.
And are there, I know like for, different things throughout the department, vests and things like that, if there's grants, are there no grants for cameras or tasers out there, or?
So there is one that I'm working on, so there's a possibility. I already submitted the initial information. I don't have the second part of the submission done, so it's possible we could get something towards that. So I'm looking, and then since the state typically puts out every year, as part of a program where they take care of vests for departments. Last year, that had to be submitted by June 30th. And the vest we purchased was in July. That was when we had hired Officer Charles. So we just kind of missed the time frame for that, but we ended up getting that money reimbursed by League of Wisconsin Municipalities. Picked up that vest.
Yeah.
So if I recall, the sheriff's department, I think the body cams are integrated with the squad cams, right?
Correct.
And so these would be the same?
These would be exactly the same.
And then what about the interview room cameras? Any of that tie in together?
So the interview room camera does not, but I had purchased additional, they're basically just being phased out. And they're the same in-car system that we have in the cars, but there are so many departments right now that have upgraded that they're giving them away for free or just asking for you to pay shipping. So I do have a couple of those units, and Luxembourg Village had someone wire an entire in-car system in their interview room, and that's what they use. So I'm going to be getting in touch with the chief in Luxembourg and see if we could potentially work with the same person who wired theirs and get a price for what it would cost for him to redo ours here.
So back to the grants then, is that something that could be retroactive? So if we pay up front for all of this stuff, it could still be applied if they have proof that we purchased it, or do we have to get the grant first?
Good question.
I mean, what I'd be afraid of,
I think the grant is probably a long shot, but we're trying anyway, so.
Okay.
What was the amount for the camera?
21,665. even.
Then what was the second one then? Because that doesn't, your numbers don't match mine.
1,000 off, I would, that's.
Me
what
too.
I
So
want the 1,000.
Did you get a,
The Axon body cameras, after finance, because I'd gotten a new quote about 3 minutes before going in. I talked with him the next day and I was able to get him to knock another $12.50 off of the total price. So we're saving on the 2-day training program because myself and Chief Dave Allen have agreed that we're going to ship all of our equipment at the same time. And then we're going to train together.
so what was the total again?
So what was the total for the
The total
tasers?
is 33,
Okay.
665, 60.
Yeah, that's what I needed.
For a total of $55,330.60, so
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
say if we have a motion that's $55,500 not to exceed.
And then, well, the other point that I wanted to bring up, where initially I had some savings in the watch guard, so I thought, well, great. I had about $11 or $1,800 extra. Because we had not planned, this does not include installation, so I've reached out to Carter Collision. They actually answered me today, they put all the in-car systems in the company squads. They're gonna get back to me, but she was wondering if we had the kits yet, and we do not, so they would have to be shipped. And then she wants me to bring one out there so they can take a look at it to just confirm that that is what they previously did and they're familiar with, before she goes ahead and gives me a price on what they might charge for each car.
So we need to be aware that there will be more monies needed to complete the
Installation.
install.
Which I should be able to just take out of.
Your budget,
I don't think it's gonna be anything too excessive.
So are we voting on the 55,330, or are we voting on the 14, because there was 15,000 less because of the capital improvements, so what are we voting? Are we voting on the final figure of the 55,330?
You have to make a motion.
That's.
well, he's just verifying where the funds are coming from, because we have the CIP.
Yeah, we're gonna,
And then.
15 out of capital outlay and then the remainder will come out of the CIP.
Yeah.
So we're looking at
40.
40,330.60 out of CIP. Which we'll bring back next month with a budget resolution to.
So I guess, John, to answer your question, I would make the motion to, purchase for the 55,330.60 with, the understanding that 15,000 of that will be coming out of the capital outlay budget.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the 55,330.60. With 15,000 of that coming out of the capital, 15,000 of coming out of the capital improvement. Or capital outlay, I'm sorry. And the balance coming out of the capital improvements project.
Second that motion.
Of the 40,330.60.
All right, we have a motion and a second for a total of $55,330.60. With 15,000 coming from the capital outlay and $40,330.60 from the CIP. Is there any further discussion? If not, please call roll.
Nelson.
Aye.
Conley.
Aye.
Wiznicki.
Aye.
Brown.
Yes.
Blaha.
Yes.
Brewster.
Aye.
Zimmerman.
Motion carried. Probably after the meeting, if you want to just take some of those old tasers, try it on the council just to make sure they're indeed effective. That'd probably be a good thing, just to make sure they made the right
You
decision.
did that at finance.
I did finance already.
Okay.
Yes, so we don't have to do.
All right, 8E, adopt resolution number 2024 through 2039, establishing a flag policy.
Yeah. There have been challenges around other communities regarding what types of flags are allowed to be flown. Some communities have tried flexible flying and whatever. Anyway, the mayor requested a flag policy that basically codifies what we do now, which is the federal, state flags like that. So the resolution that's attached is basically what we do now, we're just codifying it to make it official. So all we're asking for is to adopt it. The resolution is attached.
but only on city-owned properties.
It only
correct?
applies to city-owned properties. Yep.
So I make a motion to adopt resolution number 2024-2039, establishing a flag.
I will,
we have a motion.
I'll second it.
I do see, let's,
What is it? It's 38.
I see 38 in the packet, but
It's 39.
It's 39.
it is
Okay.
39, okay. So I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number 2024-2039, establishing a flag policy for flags flown on city of Kewaunee owned property. Is there any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. 8F, adopt a motion declaring surplus real estate assets in reference 413 Beardsley Street, tax parcels 31-241 OTP 8/9.
Yeah, we're being asking the council to officially declare the subject property surplus, which is a designation under state statute. Subject property is two parcels that the city has owned since at least 2018. Properties acquired due to lapsed payments and previous residents on the smaller lot, there are two of them, was demolished. An old tavern was previously located on the larger parcel, but was eliminated a long time ago. Property in its current condition does not have a purpose for the city in terms of public utility, and the location doesn't contribute to providing public service. In addition, the city as a whole would benefit from additional private investment, and this property would be an excellent candidate. Primary issue is that as Plan Commission reviewed it, the property is currently zoned B1 local business, both parcels. The land use map identifies the property as residential, which is an analog to the R1 single family residential district. Therefore, it was recommended to the Plan Commission, which then forwarded the same recommendation to change the zoning of the property. How you choose to market it, I guess, is sort of up to you. But we can use a realtor or somebody else to market the property. And as I noted, the Plan Commission recommended property be declared surplus with the condition that prior to sale or transfer, property be rezoned from B1 to R1, just to clean up the zoning. The rezoning will be subject to public notice, which will be a cost in the area of $100 to $150, not including staff time on the process. Staff recommends council declare the parcels as surplus with the condition to rezone the property.
All right, so I would entertain a motion to take 413 Beardsley Street as surplus property, which is not needed for any public purpose, and recommend that the property be sold or otherwise disposed of for the public good by reason of support for future land use recommendations of the 2007 comprehensive plan, with the condition that prior to such sale or transfer, the subject property shall be rezoned from the current B1 local business to R1 single family residential. Do I have a motion to that?
I'll make that said motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second. But I have a question. Will the city have the right, reserve the right to accept or reject all bids?
Yeah, it's your property. You don't have to accept anybody's offer to purchase.
Will that be in the bid contract itself? Will that be in the bid, will that be listed in the bid itself?
Should be.
Well, we're not gonna be bidding it. So it'll be put out for sale through a real estate firm, and of which you can accept or reject any offer or counter it.
Will it say that?
It could, it doesn't need to. I mean, you don't have to accept any offer.
Keith, are we required to put out, to accept bids on property, or are we, no? Okay,
No, you can market a property. If you declare it surplus, you can market it.
okay.
Eric, did you have something?
I was gonna ask the same question. I would say we can go the realtor route and entertain offers. And I like that.
But just to be clear, to answer John's question, we indeed can accept or reject any and all offers, and should it be in writing? It could be in the realtor agreement, I suppose.
We can tell the realtor that we want to make sure that council is
Just so it's
authorized
clear.
to approve what we want to sell it to.
I just say you never know what comes up, so, I
Agreed.
mean,
I got a question.
Yes.
So, these are two separate parcels that have now become one? Cause were they,
There's still two separate parcels, separate deeded parcels.
okay, so then whoever buys it would have to.
If they want to cross the boundary line, yeah, they would have to,
Okay.
they would have to wipe out the lot line in between.
Okay, but they're being sold basically as one parcel, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. Just so that's understood too,
Yeah, we're not gonna divide.
yeah. Cause well, it doesn't,
They're not two parcels being sold as one parcel. That would
That's
have
what
to
you
be
just said.
rephrased.
There are two parcels being sold as a package.
yeah, we're.
Not two parcels being sold as one parcel, because every parcel has a different number on it.
right,
Yeah.
but
So
it's
it
a
can't be
package
two
deal.
parcels being sold as one parcel.
You buy one, you get one half price.
However you wanna word it, I guess.
Well, it's a sale, everybody loves a sale, so.
Is there any further discussion on the motion that's on the table right now? If there's no further discussion, please call the roll.
Nelson,
Hi.
Conley,
Aye.
Wozniki.
Aye.
Brown,
Yes.
Blaha,
Yeah.
Brewster,
Aye.
Zimmerman.
Hi,
Motion carried. 8G, financial reports, month ending December 2023. Any questions on finance reports? There a motion to accept the finance reports as submitted?
I'll make them.
Is there a second?
second,
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Nelson. Aye. Conley.
Aye.
Wozniki.
Aye.
Brown. Yeah. Blaha. Brewster.
Aye.
Zimmerman.
hi.
Motion carried.
I second.
We have announcements yet.
Do announce.
Let's say that on here.
We have motions.
We have a motion and a second, so
Wow.
any announcements have to be made after. Is there any further discussion or motion to adjourn?
You can vote it down.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Fine.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Make a second.
We're adjourned.
There's a public property, committee meeting, during public property meeting on, Thursday. Anybody who wants to get anything on the agenda, they've already reached out to me. Always got, read on it, Augie, so anything else,